Now greetings to the world, voice of the one smelly alongside Dogsdie and Yoshifett. Loithimos. F you. Latinacans. We must make this show, pinch off this show and get this podcast done. Then we will take your ears and make it boom them. All up in your face and just in case those other podcasts run. Those guys Smelly and Yoshi make it boom them. We must make the show, pinch off the show and get this podcast done. Then we will take your ears and make it boom them. All up in your face and just in case those other podcasts run. Those guys Smelly and Yoshi make it boom them.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 92, I'm pretty sure, of The Boom! I'm your host, Dogsdie and Hot Cars, and I have to say, it is great to say those words again. Doesn't it feel good? I know you guys did an episode just recently, but now the three of us reunited in an episode that will be released. Does it feel good?
It feels fantastic good.
No, fantastic fine.
It's more than fantastic good.
It feels fantastic fine.
It's more than fantastic fine. It's wonderful.
Yep.
I agree with you that every time you come back on and start the podcast, you say how great it is to be back.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's good.
I just want to say I've heard that intro so many times of like, hey, you know what? It's been so long. I'm so happy to be back. It's almost like a cliche of the Boom Show now.
That's true. But hey, you've never heard this one before though, Yosh. Hey, this time we're going to be more regular.
Truth.
We are going to be eating our podcasting fiber. Super colon blow, if you will. Because we have a new editor, Coleman. Give it up for Coleman.
Yeah.
Our last episode came out so quickly I couldn't get my pre-recorded segment that I didn't actually plan on recording to him in time.
Yep.
So there's that.
That's what she said.
Let's get on with it. We have three wonderful hosts today. As I said, I'm Dogsdie. I'm out here in actually Minneapolis today. First time recording in Minneapolis. I'm looking out the window and I see the famous Minneapolis landmark.
Say hi to the Twins for me. I don't know anybody on the Twins, so.
Well, say hi to both of them.
I will. Yeah, Joe Mauer is still on the Twins. I went to a Twins game last time I was here, and I got a foul ball, and I gave it to a Down syndrome man. There's no joke.
Hey!
It just happened.
That's just a good thing that you did. Thanks.
Joe Mauer was on the cover of MLB The Show 12.
Yeah, he was back in the day. I don't know if your year is correct, but he definitely was on it.
I think it was 11.
Oh, was it 11? I was so close.
But we're going to check. If it was 12, I'm going to be eating my words.
Eat them words.
On this
Joe Mauer
episode of The Boom.
MLB The Show cover.
I was betting that 12 was wrong.
I'm checking. It was MLB. I think it was even earlier. No, it was 11. Dang, I was right.
I was about to lose my ish if I was right with 12.
This don't eat your words, okay?
All right, Smelly Pirate, my good brother out in Georgia, tell us how you are.
I'm so fantastic fine tonight. Tonight I am.
Good.
This week in general, I'm not because I'm back at school. Well, and even tomorrow, I'm even back more in school because I'm doing my job at the high school and then I'm getting back into my stupid doctoral classes tomorrow.
Oh, Jesus.
Exactly.
Double school.
That's precisely.
No, that's not okay.
Man.
Nothing okay about that.
That's rough stuff.
This is like me getting drunk before getting drunk on Boom. It's very exciting.
Right.
It's very fantastic. Exciting.
If you were one to get drunk.
If I were, yeah.
Absolutely. And in California, Yoshi.
I hear that the effects of alcohol are underwhelming.
I've heard that as well.
Kind of uninteresting and underwhelming, I think, were the two adjectives that I heard somebody say.
Yeah, I've read that.
Right.
Yep.
Smelly, I didn't mean to kick it off of you back to Yoshi so early. It looks like you had more to introduce us to.
I don't know that I talked about this last time, but I own an Xbox One. Did I talk to you about that, Yosh, on the show?
You did. Remember, because we talked about possible playing of like Rocket League, and I don't know if it was on the show actually, but we did talk about playing Rocket League together or having our daughter and son hook up to play Portal 2 multiplayer co-op.
Correct.
Which is kind of cool idea.
Not on the show, I think.
No, but it's a really good idea still.
It's really kind of reawakened my interest in gaming a little bit. I purchased Dark Swords of the Peter Jacksons. That's what it's called, I think.
Shadow of Mordor?
That's the one.
Shadow of Mordor.
Did that one.
I love that game so bad. That's the best game.
Oh, it's so good.
I never even finished that game, but like the gameplay's so fun, you don't need to finish it. You can just kill orcs forever, and it's always satisfying.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a happy time. Absolutely agree.
Yeah, so I've got an hour or two in that, and that's it'll stay that way for 2 years, but I'm enjoying it pretty much.
So this is the first time in years, literally years, that all three of us have owned the same gaming console.
Ooh, I thought you jettisoned yours, Dogsdie.
No, I've got an Xbox One. I got it for Christmas. My at-Tongan wife got it for me.
Whoa.
Dude, we should put you guys, all I'm saying, Assassin's Creed Revelation multiplayer podcast episode. Let's do it again.
It lives on.
Oh my gosh, it lives. Let's do it.
If you make a mistake once, you do it again. That's my rule in life.
That's right.
It's been a really good rule. It has helped me on the straight and narrow.
That's right.
If you make a mistake once, do it for 35 to 39 years.
That's right.
And then figure it out. So I'm going to throw it over to Yoshifett, who's out in California. Yoshi, sir, I've been talking to, Smelly's my brother, so I get to see him a lot. Once a year. And but I haven't talked to you very much. What's going on?
I've said enough, right?
No, man.
I mean, I've already stomped on both your guys' introductions, all kinds. I feel like they know I'm here because I'm already being annoying. So
I've missed your interruptions so hard.
That's what most people miss about me when they're not around me. They're like, I forgot the sensation of not even being able to get the sentence out of my mouth before some dumbass cuts me off. Yeah, no, I've been good, man. School's starting for me. I know that you have a full-time job, so I shouldn't complain at all, but my friend said it the best. Another Mormon, he was a former Mormon though, so kind of different. Cameron, you'll relate to this. He said that going back to school is like being pulled out of retirement. And I think that's the perfect way to put it, because you feel like for 2 months, literally for exactly 8 weeks, I felt like a retired man. And then all of a sudden I'm like Jay Cutler being put back on the Dolphins, or not back on the Dolphins, but being pulled out of, he's like, I guess I'll play for the Dolphins if you give me $10 million. But it's the same feeling. You're like, I'm so used to this life that I've created for these 2 months, and it's so beautiful and perfect, and now you want to destroy it. But then you remember that the money you make doing that thing allows you to live like a retiree for 2 months out of the year, which I think most people will take that trade.
You try to stop complaining at that point, but you don't.
My favorite thing about going back to school that you posted about on Facebook, Yoshi, was, I'm paraphrasing very poorly, but you said, try reading the same book 100 times with a different font each year.
Same boring book.
I wondered how many people were going to pick up on that vague booking and realize that is actually about professional development the week before school starts, where they tell you all the new, hot, cutting-edge things. You interpret it correctly, though, that it was about the beginning of school, and it's like reading the same book, but it's got a slightly different font. So it's like you have this vague feeling of deja vu in every staff meeting, because you're like, I know this concept, but they used to call it a different thing. It had a different acronym before. Yeah,
it reminded me of like textbooks in college, where to get the students to have to buy it again, they change the font and change the numbering of the problems that you have to solve.
Right, exactly.
6th edition now.
And also with teachers, I'm not the average teacher in terms of, I would say, philosophy. The average teacher philosophy is gung-ho, all kids can learn, we're going to solve this problem. We have to act like this is a completely 100% solvable problem, and that's how we're going to act. All students, everyone can succeed. And I'm like, no, that's not true. And they're like, whoa. You're a teacher. You're supposed to think that's true. If you don't think that's true, we can't do anything about it, but we're disappointed that you're not as deluded as we are, I guess is the way to put it.
Right.
I hope nobody listens to this podcast who is my administrators, because I'm but all right. But it's seriously you hear the same PowerPoints over and over again. Sorry. My dog's barking. Well, you do your thing. I'm going to go let him out.
On this episode, everybody, we've got a word speak, a thug speak, baseball speak, exciting things. We're also going to talk about things that we were doing 25 years ago that we are still doing today. Game of Thrones update.
Boom.
We're going to talk about some boom parenting advice from the Twitters. Asked for that.
Cheer.
And a bracket about the most uncomfortable media that we have consumed and enjoyed.
Ugh.
That and so much more on this episode of the All right. Yoshi, teach us a word.
The word of the week is Luddite. And I thought that I'd done this word before, and I might have, and you guys might have forgotten, but probably not. But anyways, that's it.
Luddite.
Luddite, yeah.
Luddite.
The Luddites were at war with the Canaanites.
And the Lamanites and the Laminations.
The Lamanites. That's
Well,
right.
the Lamanites were wiped out by a giant Luddite from the sky.
They were led by King Lud.
And the Nephites. I always hated saying Lamanites.
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 You idiot.
The lame part of
Stupid
it always...
You stupid idiot.
Oh my god, Yoshi, shut the up.
Oh, you're so stupid to think that group of people that actually existed were called the Lamanites.
But Lamanites? Lamanites. It almost sounds made up.
It's close.
Smelly, please bring the intelligence level up here a little bit by teaching us things that people say on the streets of Atlanta.
Okay, something that you might have heard is this. You guys know what an onion is?
You guys know when the onion is?
You gonna say that right in front of my salad?
What is that? Is that a thing? Is that a quote from a thing?
You don't know about the right in front of my salad meme? All right, I'm gonna leave that there. Oh, I'm gonna leave that.
Dang it.
You guys gotta look that up later. You gonna do this right in front of my salad?
I don't know what that is. Dang it.
It's the new meme hotness.
Okay.
Trust me.
Onion. I just learned this. Not on the streets, but on a website that told me this is a thing. Do you know what an onion is?
Nah, man.
It has layers.
It's a unit of measurement, roughly equal to an ounce of drugs.
Oh.
Onion and an ounce start with an O, is that why?
I guess.
And they both have 5 letters?
I'm assuming you'd walk up to a thug on the street
3 vowels?
and just say...
And 2 consonants?
Wow, you're good at this. I'm sure that's all the thought that went into this.
I typed it out.
Now, so I assume, that if you wanted drugs and you needed precisely an ounce, you would walk up to a thug on the street and say, "Excuse me, sir, I'd like an onion of drugs." And they would give you that.
of drugs. That you're like, I don't care what kind of drugs, I just want drugs. Like, and he comes back.
Get the out of here, narc.
He comes back in an hour with like an ounce of ibuprofen or something, and you're like, dude, you are not picking up what I'm putting down.
Bruh, this is not the onion I was looking for.
Hey, bro, do you have an onion of molasses? I'm making cookies, and I'm short.
I'm making hella cookies. Actually, you're probably just going to go over to your sketchy friend's house and be like, yo, dog, I need an onion. And he'll be like, all right.
Yo, dog, hit me up with that onion. that good onion.
It's probably not just going to be some random guy on the street.
All right, so we've got an onion. Love it. All right, I'm the boring one with baseball speak of the week, and we've probably done this already, but I don't care.
Baseball's not boring. God damn it.
I know, but after Luddite and onion, those are so great. But I think we've done immaculate inning. Am I wrong?
No,
you're not wrong. But your baseball speak should just be the Dodgers because they are baseball right now.
Yeah, they are.
I know, it's true. It's so exciting.
It's crazy. They're gonna be like the 73-9 Warriors though, and not win the whole thing and have the best record of all time. Or they're going to be the 18-0 Patriots.
And then lose to the effing Giants.
Then lose to the effing Giants. And that'll be, the Giants. That's perfect, right?
Oh, gosh.
Anyways, tell us about an immaculate inning.
Smelly, what is an immaculate inning? Because I assume Yoshi knows.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
Oh, fun. So these are quite rare. These are quite rare.
Okay, so obviously you're 3 up, 3 down. But that's not very rare. So it is every single player... doesn't hit. I'm going to go by your facial feedback.
This is my guess too.
Every batter does not hit or does hit.
Nope.
Also might hit.
I wish you guys could see the video feed. This is amazing.
Yeah, I wasn't very telling there with my face.
Nobody gets to bat. That's the immaculate inning.
So it happens. Last year, it only happened once.
Huh.
So far this year, it's happened 8 times.
Can I guess then?
Go ahead, Yoshi.
So I like Smelly's idea that it's immaculate because I feel like it's a situation where the bases get juiced, meaning loaded, but with no hits, and then yet nobody scores.
Oh.
I don't know if I like that a lot. That's not right, but I wonder if that has
That should have a name, because that's like a cool thing.
That should have a name.
What if like a guy walks the bases loaded and then they get a triple play or something? Like that would be an awesome, like I would call that an immaculate inning.
I like that.
Is it when the pitcher faces, like if the pitcher only throws 3 pitches in the inning and the inning's over? Is that an immaculate inning?
No, see, a 3-pitch inning doesn't have
a name.
Does that not have a name either?
It doesn't have a name either.
Totally should.
But that's even more rare. A 3-pitch innings are even more rare than an immaculate inning.
Oh yeah, because it would be like a first swing on every batter, and that never happens.
Yeah, because what happens is if the first 2 batters swing on the first pitch, the third batter doesn't swing just because they don't want the third.
Yeah, right.
The third out on one swing. An immaculate inning is 3 consecutive strikeouts on 9 pitches.
Oh, that's kind of the reverse of what I was saying.
So it's 9 straight strikes to strike out the side in order.
And that's that rare?
Yeah.
Okay, so Smelly, let me give you, because I want to steal Dogsdie's thunder, let me explain to you why that would be so incredibly rare. Because when the count is 0-2, it's almost always a ball.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the pitcher will throw a junk pitch at that point and try to get you to chase it. Most major league batters are smart enough not to chase it. Like 3-pitch strikeouts are really rare, actually.
Yeah, you'd have to be a Luddite to chase that third pitch.
I mean, three pitch strikeouts seem really rare to me. I think like 4 or 5 pitch strikeouts. I wonder what the average like strikeout number is for a pitcher.
That's a good question. To give you an idea of the rarity, there's been 22, I think, perfect games. There's been 200 and something
no hitters.
There's been 200 and something no hitters.
No hitters.
But there's only been 88 immaculate innings.
Wow.
Last knowledge drop on this, 4 players have had more than 1 immaculate inning, and they're all huge names.
Okay, let's guess.
Lefty Grove, old school.
Kershaw?
Not Kershaw.
Dang it.
But the Lefty Grove is kind of the older one, but the next 3 are very big names.
Candy Maldonado.
Clemens?
It's Kiki Vandeweghe.
Mookie Blaylock.
And Ricky Henderson. That one time he played pitcher.
So it's Nolan Ryan.
Nice.
Randy Johnson.
Yeah.
They each did it twice.
And Pedro.
And the only player to do it 3 times is Sandy Koufax.
Oh, Sandy.
Oh, another brilliant left-handed Dodger.
Yeah, the second best Dodger pitcher of all time.
Well, yeah, but that's only counting regular season. But Randy Johnson and who's the other guy you said?
Nolan Ryan.
Nolan Ryan make total sense, because the way that works is if you have 2 strikes on a guy and you're like, yeah, but my fastball's unhittable, so I'm going to just throw a strike right now.
Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and throw it really hard.
And that's how you get an immaculate inning, right? Like, you just don't throw the garbage slider or whatever you're going to throw to waste the third pitch.
Yeah.
You just pump one.
Yeah, and looking at those that have pitched it this year, Drew Storen, he relies on his fastball. Craig Kimbrell, same thing. Scherzer.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing.
Oh.
Kenley Jansen, all he throws is a cut fastball.
Over and over again. Nobody can hit it.
It's good times. It's good times, guys.
So there's got to be a lot fewer closers that get this than starting pitchers, right? Because they just don't get as many innings to crack at it.
They don't pitch as many innings.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Well, because closers will only pitch like 50 innings, 60 plus innings a year, and whereas a regular season starter is 200 innings, right? So
right.
Very, very interesting, though. This year, of the 7, I miscounted. Out of the 7 immaculate innings, 5.
Is this a song?
5 out of 7 were in the
Did you
ninth.
debut a song right now?
So 5 out of 7 were in the 9th inning.
Oh, they were relievers?
Yeah, and they were closers.
Well, because Kimbrell and Jansen, obviously, and is Storen's a closer, yeah?
Yep.
Or is Storen a starter?
So that was in the 9th inning.
No, he used to be a starter, that's right.
I really wanted Mariano to be one of the multiples. I like Mariano.
Jose Alvarado for Tampa Bay did it just a couple days ago. And that was in the 9th inning.
Nice.
So, yeah, interesting. Good stuff. Way more time than baseball that I thought. There's been some pretty historic stuff. 4 home runs in a game. That happened this year. That's more rare than a perfect game.
Was that Scooter Gennett who did that?
It was Scooter Gennett.
That's right. Who I had on my fantasy team like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's his power surge this year. He's up to like 17 home runs now.
Everybody is on a power.
Know. Everyone's on a power surge. Yeah.
He's almost an automatic placement on my all baseball names team.
Oh yeah, he's got a great name. Like, that's why I picked him up in fantasy like 2 years ago. I was like, I need a second baseman. Scooter Gennett. Yeah,
obviously.
Boy.
All right, so Boombas out there, you've learned about Luddites and Onion.
Not yet.
And Immaculate Innings. And now we are, that's true. You've halfway learned what a Luddite is. We'll get there. But now we're going to move on to our first topic, which we want to talk about things we were doing 25 years ago to help with the math. That was 1992. And those things that we are still doing today.
Okay.
Smelly, where did you get this topic? What made you think of that?
On our last episode, Yoshi and I talked about how this is the 25-year anniversary of our love affair.
Aww.
And probably close to right now. We're maybe a couple weeks away from when we first met in 9th grade English class. And I just was thinking, what has changed and what hasn't changed? You know?
Right.
All of those things.
You guys, it's been so long. We've known each other like forever.
1992.
Yep.
One thing that I was doing then that I am doing today that I can say truthfully now and I couldn't have said 3 months ago is that I'm playing Super Metroid on the Super Nintendo.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. That's what I wrote down on one of my lists as well, playing Super Nintendo games.
Yeah.
Because I've got that. The Raspberry Pi is alive and well.
I just want to add on to you that I played does it count if I played Super Metroid after I downloaded it on the virtual console? Because I did that like 6 months ago and it was amazing.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
Cool. So we both have played Super Metroid again, like we did back when we listened to Regulate.
We're
almost 3 for 3 if Dogsdie will just get on top of Super Metroid on his Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, get on that.
I'll get on it.
All right.
I will make us...
Thanks.
Cohesive. Absolutely.
Good. We need coherence, dude.
We're nothing if not congruent on this show.
I will say on Raspberry Pi, semi-related to this topic, I was so happy I've put a lot of time into Contra with my 2 oldest sons.
Nice.
And like after one of the times we died, they were very frustrated. And so I just said, hey, let's see if this works. Up, down, left, right, BA, start. We start the game and they see there's 30 lives and they just go, what? Are you serious?
That's awesome.
This is amazing. And,
that's great.
And then they taught themselves to do it and they were so happy. And I just had this big old fat 1992 erection. It was...
big old not that fat 92 erection. That is awesome.
Yeah.
By the way, that's our first piece of parenting advice. Dogsdie kicked off the parenting advice right here. Teach your kids the Konami code. It's survival, man.
Yeah, teach your kids the Konami code. That's right. That's right.
And hey, but I like the way you went about it. You let them soak in the game with just 3 lives for a while.
Oh, that's so good.
You have to.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
Honestly, that's one of my crowning achievements of my NES days is when I beat beat Contra without using the code. Like
that, I thought was impossible.
Right.
And it was one of those things where I made it my like mission in life. I was only going to play Contra for a couple months. Because, we had that kind of dedication back in the day. I don't know what happened to us, but...
Yeah, we sure did.
Right.
But we only owned like 3 games. So it was easy.
That's true. That's why, yeah. Now it's like, oh, should I play one of the 80 games I own or just download this one real quick and play it because I'm impulsive and have money? It's dumb.
Did you beat it alone with 3 lives? Or with a homie?
That was another key part. I had no homie. I needed to do it myself. I really wanted to prove that I could do it.
You are the better gamer.
You are.
No, I'm not. I'm not better. Cameron pointed this out before.
After dozens of episodes across 2 failing websites... Yoshifett has finally been crowned best gamer of the Boom podcast.
Of the Brown Boom.
Okay, so we need to make a distinction here because after I beat Bionic Commando.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I beat Bionic Commando, and you were like, how the F did you beat Bionic Commando? That game's impossible.
It is.
We realized that my strength as a gamer is like platformers and 2D side-scrolling games. And that's very true because I just played Destiny online yesterday. I was playing multiplayer, and I hadn't played multiplayer in forever. Guess my KD ratio.
Oh, no. 0.5.
You're so generous.
0.17.
Oh, it was less than 0.5.
0.23.
Oh, the greatest of all time.
So I'm like, that means I get like almost 1 kill per 4 times I die, which shouldn't even be logically possible, but that's how bad I am at games. So don't crown me at anything except for side-scrolling platformers.
Side-scrolling platformers. Well, Smelly, in 1992, what was your biggest strength in gaming? And is that still your biggest strength in gaming today?
I haven't grown. I get the subtext of this question.
No, I'm tying it together. I'm not trying to make a shot at you.
No, I want the shot. I'm sadder if that's not a shot at me.
It is a shot. It was a brilliant backhanded compliment.
Dude, you're so dogs. You're back in mid-season form. I love this.
Well, what can I say? It's riding a bike. This microphone's riding a bike.
That was awesome.
Are you in the best shape of your life? Like most people when they're starting the season, like all the football players right now at training camp. Oh, he's in the best shape of his life. He's been working all summer.
I am on podcasting enhancing drugs, though.
Yes, he is.
Dude.
PEDs. He drank at least an onion already of that stuff.
I got
at least.
I got an onion of Red Bull Purple Edition here. I don't think it's really an onion. It's probably 12 onions. Yeah,
it's 16 fluid onions.
You have one of those ones that has like 240 milligrams of caffeine in it, though. You have like one of the big
this
boppers.
is 140, man. This is 140.
Oh, is it? Okay. Mine's 190.
Yeah, rock stars are 240. So, Smelly, what was your strength in gaming back yonder in 1992?
I'll tell you what it was. Probably one of my strengths was Star Fox. I was pretty darn good at Star Fox. And that has not survived. Yeah, no, I put on Star Fox the other day, and those skills do not remain. I will tell you that.
That game is really hard.
It is.
I tried playing it like, I don't know when, not that long ago though, and I was like very surprised. Because like you, I remember being good at it, and I'm not.
It's very hard.
Not good at it.
It's also, if you do the Star Fox 64, anything N64 on Raspberry Pi is difficult because it's not the same controller.
Right.
So I tried to play GoldenEye on it, and it's just impossible because it's not this. You're doing this, and it's not working.
Can I tell you something, dogs?
Please.
Like really personal. GoldenEye sucks with the right controller too.
Wow.
Like it really sucks. Like I played it on the N64 not that long ago. It's garbage. That game is unplayable. It's the most inflated game by the time period of any game of all time. You press the C buttons to strafe, it's garbage. Like a single analog stick, I hated it. I don't want to ever play that game again.
Man, is there a game that has fallen further from grace than that game?
Than GoldenEye.
Like you can't go back and play it.
I would say no.
You can't. It doesn't work.
Nope. And if you try to make a kid play it now, they'd be like, this is terrible. Give me Call of Duty.
Yeah, which is just kind of sad because it really was one of the very first. I know it wasn't the first, but on the console, arguably it was the first breakout hit of the multiplayer first-person shooter.
To me, it's like the licensed to ill of video games because it was awesome at the time, and now it's unlistenable. So,
right.
I'm just gonna go back. I'm gonna play that exclusively now for the next week just to prove you wrong.
The Beastie Boys albums that came after that were inspired were so worth it, but you can't go back.
Yeah.
No, sleep.
I've got an entry that's not video game related.
Oh, good. Okay.
So I, in 1992 and in 2017, find myself twice a week at a Little League baseball field.
Huh.
Oh,
that's nice.
Parenting tip number 2.
The parenting tip number 2, be involved with your kids' Little League teams.
Do you take off your shirt and fight people like Randy from South Park? You're like, I thought this was America, and you like start stripping and fight the other dads?
No, I wouldn't say that. I get fired up, and I'm very active, but I'm not yelling at anyone in particular. It's just kind of a overly exuberant parent.
Just a god in clouds and stuff. You're just like, ah! Is that what it's like?
You have some parents that was a strike, and the ump's like 14 years old going like, oh, I'm getting $5 to do this, man. I'm not that guy.
That sounds like every Simpsons character who's like the young kid who's, you know how they always have the Simpsons character who's like super young, who's like, I'm sorry, Mr. Simpson. Yeah.
That's right. Worst umpire ever.
How often does someone, you or anybody else among the parents, reward the children for existing?
Oh, here we go.
Do you know what rally cry I'm vaguely referencing here?
I really appreciate my kid's Little League coach because he tells it like it is. After the game, he'll just flat out call it and say, guys, we were swinging at way too many pitches today. Just way too many pitches today.
No, but this is really specific what I'm asking you.
Talk to me.
How many people and how often do people just acknowledge the existence of someone in order to encourage them? And I don't think I know Smelly's picking up what I'm putting down, but I don't think you are.
So are you putting down...
There's a really famous thing that all parents say to their kids during baseball games. It's just an acknowledgement of their existence, but we think of it as like some sort of like praise.
I don't follow.
I've stumped you.
Tell them.
Way to be.
Way to be?
Way to be is my favorite Little League baseball thing because all you're telling the kid is, I'm so glad you're around.
You exist.
Way to be.
Way to
I'm so
exist.
glad you don't not be. It's so good that you're not being right now.
After that pitch, you didn't die.
Because that's like one of my biggest memories from Little League is people yelling way to be at me and me being like, what do you mean? Like I hit a ground ball and I'm out. Like what? Why are you, like cool? Way to be.
Well, of course. Everyone else, every other kid just smiles and says thanks. But Yoshi went into like an existential crisis as a 6-year-old.
I did. I was like, was I supposed to not be after that? Because this is very confusing.
Hey, I can tell you this quick story, and I'll pretend it was baseball, even though it was basketball, just because we're on the topic. But a lot of the same kids are on our baseball team are also on my son's basketball team. So we're at a basketball game, and one of the parents is yelling at his son to play better defense, and he's doing everything that everyone else is saying, and nothing out of the ordinary. And all of a sudden, the rec center director comes up to him and says, "Sir, you need to stop, or we're going to kick you out." And he's like, what are you talking about? And the guy kind of says, just keep it down. And he goes away. And I'm yelling at my kid to be a little more aggressive and stuff. Other parents are doing the same thing. And this guy is still like, hey, get down on defense. Get down on defense. They called the cops on him to escort him out.
Wow.
And
good.
And he was black. He continues to be black. He hasn't changed that aspect of his life.
Way to be black.
Oh, wait, I changed my answer from good to bad.
Right. And he starts going like, what are you guys doing? What is wrong here? The cops escort him out. And I tell my wife, at Tongam wife, and said, I'm going to be right back. I go out with him and I explain to the cops, I'm like, this guy wasn't doing anything. I don't know what
good for
the director here or if the coach has an issue, because the coach was also trying to tell him to be quiet. Like, he wasn't doing anything that no one else was doing. I don't know what's going on here. And then he went off on this big racist rant on how he's had issues with this coach before. And I was like, oh gosh, I just meddled in something that I didn't know I was meddling in. Anyway, that's all.
But you had a good heart to do that.
So 25 years ago, I wasn't racist, and I'm still not.
That's great.
Clearly.
I believe that in 1988... No, wait, how's the song go? Or 1978 from the Book of Mormon? I can't remember it.
I believe in 1978 God changed his mind about black people.
Yeah, there we go.
That's right.
Well, one thing, this is totally egocentric because it only refers to me, but I will not be attending any competitive sporting events that my daughter is at, ever, because I can't handle it.
Wow.
You can't do it.
Not that it's not that I'm afraid about what I'm going to do, because I'm just going to sit there and be mad. But I can't handle the way that parents talk to their kids when they're playing competitive sports.
Yeah.
That makes me so upset, and I just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
And I just, if my daughter starts playing like the competitive quote unquote soccer league in our town, I'm just gonna, it's gonna be a hard discussion, but I'm just gonna tell her like, I can't I can't be there. I'm sorry. I just can't be there.
Well, if you don't go, though, how are you going to know whether she is?
Well, when she comes home, I'll be like, way to be! Oh my gosh, you continued to be this whole time.
If your daughter falls down at a soccer game and you're not there to hear it, is she B?
Is she B anymore?
Was Jesus carrying her at that time? That's the real question.
Was there one set of footprints?
Oh, the sand people travel single file.
That's
right,
great.
One more question. Name something that you have eaten in the last 7 days that you ate a lot in 1992.
Oh, crap.
Oh, soft taco supreme at Taco Bell, for sure.
Crap.
That's great.
Like many of them.
That's pretty great.
I've been eating a lot of Taco Bell this week because,
Do you have something? I'm still thinking.
I'm thinking too.
You haven't eaten Taco Bell in the last week, Smelly? Oh my god!
I know, I haven't.
I need to come to Georgia.
I've been really good lately. No, I know you have like a weekly Taco Bell date, and I respect that about you.
It's my cheat day.
It's
my
great.
Cheat meal.
I love it. I ate this week some Wheat Thins. I'm sure I ate this in 1992, but Wheat Thins with easy cheese.
Easy cheese?
Yeah.
Yes.
Easy cheese. All right, good.
I had
Easy
some of
cheese
that
is a big
at work
winner
this week.
There's nothing more the smelly pirate than easy cheese. Nothing.
There's not. That's true.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? We also. I wonder if you've done this because I think you have. Have you listened to Dr. Dre in the past week?
In the past 24 hours, I have.
Yeah, me too. So that's another one that we can say that we're still about Dre all these years ago. These years later, I just say.
Nowadays, everybody want to talk like they got nothing to say.
I was listening to Ace of Base. I was listening to Ace of Base and Alanis Morissette.
You listened to the remake of Cruel Summer, right? That was like your one. No, I don't know.
Color Me Bad was what I'm. Yeah.
Oh, Color Me Bad. That song. Wow, that song changed me.
Okay, really quick. Name the Color Me Bad song single that holds up the best. Because I know the correct answer.
My Amor.
The only one I can remember is I Want to Sex You Up, so I don't really know if
it's not that one, and it's not I Adore Mi Amor.
What is it? The one where they're walking on the beach, where they're I don't know.
It might be the one where they're walking on the beach. It's called All for Love.
Yeah.
I'm the one that's ever do anything for you.
Yeah, that song's so ballin'.
Freaking slaps, man. It's incredible.
Song's not balling.
I wanna get back to
Your
you,
mom's balling, man.
treat you well.
That's right. That song's really, really good. Shut up, Yoshi. That song's dominant.
Okay, I'll allow it. I'm just going to allow it because, like I said, I Want to Sex You Up was an important song for me.
I used my own money to buy that tape, and our mom heard me listening to I Want to Sex You Up probably in 1992 as a 10-year-old.
Right.
And she threw it away, and I cried on her carpet in her bedroom telling her, you owe me $10. You owe me $10.
And 3 pubic
The
hairs.
warehouse isn't going to give me my money back.
So here's another thing that's the same.
Warehouse.
Is we still Smelly and I still both think Dogsdie is a little so that hasn't changed. Because he cries over I Want to Sex You Up.
That's true. Hey, I'm not currently crying over it. That was a reenactment. All right? All right.
Oh, that's so good.
Hey, things I was doing in 1992 and I'm still doing today, not having a healthy relationship with my father. Hey.
Oh, you're killing me, Smalls.
Oh, here's some context. Here's some context for those of you who don't know. Back then, he wasn't a good father, and now he's dead.
Oh,
no.
I'm so
Everything you're doing is making things better.
I'm so comfortable right now. And unconflicted.
He was a good dad.
He was.
Hey, Coleman, as a transition to the next... He's going to hate this all episode long. As a transition to the next topic, do like a toilet flushing thing, because I got to pee. So... All right, so we're moving on. Let's dedicate 5 to 6.5 minutes to the latest installment of Game of Thrones. A lot of things we've been waiting literally 7 seasons for.
Right. Dany and Jon Snow to hold hands.
Dany and Jon Snow to have some angsty flirting.
Yeah.
The Kingslayer just
dude, that's
charging.
his freaking aunt.
Yeah.
That's true.
Can we discuss the fact that Dany is Jon Snow's aunt, and that's really weird?
That is very strange.
Isn't that okay, though, in this world?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, actually, in this universe, that's pretty normal. That's like, okay.
Jon knows that, right?
No, Jon doesn't even know he's a Targaryen. Half Targaryen, half Stark.
Okay, so he doesn't know. Now, what does that do for his lineage? Like, does that make him...
He is not. Well, it makes it so she's not the last Targaryen. He's the last Targaryen. I mean, he'd be the Targaryen male who would be the heir to the throne.
Wow, I wonder if he's going to find that out and there's going to be some trouble.
Yeah, but I don't think he wants that.
No, he doesn't want it.
Like, you know that whole thing about, like, I'm not good at the thing that I don't like the thing I'm good at. And the question is, does he mean murdering and killing or ruling or both?
But if that's...
I think he doesn't like being the leader, really.
If that were the only way he could unify the armies to take down the White Walkers, I feel like he would do it.
Yeah, he would do it. Oh, yeah, he would do anything for that. Like, that's all he could talk about, right?
Right.
I'm pretty sure he made up those cave paintings.
If you've seen The Night King.
Oh, yeah?
He scratched those cave paintings on the wall.
The cave paintings are a false flag.
That was the one thing I forgot about that episode, and that felt a little cheap to me. That's the only thing about the episode. Oh, look, here are these perfectly preserved cave paintings that show exactly what's supposed to happen, what we're supposed to do now.
What I'm fighting against. Yeah, that's right.
That felt like a total, like, cheesy, cheap, like, way to make it seem plausible for Dany.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't love that part. I loved everything about that episode, though, beside that.
Also, whoever painted those things was pretty darn talented. Those were pretty solid depictions of the walkers. I was impressed.
Yeah. Like, kind of too good.
Yeah.
Again, like, that scene felt weird to me. Like, I don't know. It felt like a narrative shortcut, but I think with so few episodes left, it's kind of okay.
I'm not sure if it was just the glare on my tablet as I was watching the episode, but I was expecting the dragon glass to be a lot cooler to see, but it was just very dark and I couldn't really tell.
It's like obsidian. That's why it's basically just black.
Okay, yeah, I just couldn't see anything on my... Like, it felt like they wanted us to look at this stuff and go like, ooh, cool. And it was just a dark thing.
Yeah.
Dark cave.
That was like almost a part of the episode that I forgot because there were so many other cool things. Like the scene between Brienne and Arya.
Yeah.
Their little fighting. Oh, that was so fun.
That was great.
I could watch a whole episode of just that.
And what's Sansa's issue? Is Sansa like, oh crap, I'm worthless. My little sister's a badass and I'm not?
I think she's just like concerned about how much both Bran and Arya have changed in ways that are very like outwardly obvious, whereas Sansa's changed a lot too, but it's like a lot more of an internal thing, you know, like she's become more confident,
like a tortured. She's
right, like they have something to show for it. Like, oh man, the scene where Bran totally mind rapes Littlefinger by mentioning the chaos is a ladder, chaos isn't a pit, it's a ladder thing to him that he said in like season 2 or whatever. Uh-huh. And Littlefinger's just like, how did you know that? I love how every person Bran meets, he's just like, I'm just going to tell you something you said a few years ago that nobody else knows about, that I know about because I was watching.
Right.
It's just great.
Mm-hmm.
Bran's totally, I love that meme about how Bran's your annoying nephew tried pot for the first time. And it's so true. He's just like, I'm many people. I can see many things. I'm the three-eyed raven. Let's get some Funyuns. Like, he's just totally...
I remember what it felt like to be Bran. Right.
And then I was so happy when okay, no, I don't know if happy's the right word, because I was really excited, but I was really conflicted, because there you had Bronn, who's one of my favorite characters, shooting Qyburn's arrow at Dany, and I'm like, no, but I don't want Drogon to get hurt. This is no.
Yeah.
I was then worried a little bit that maybe that was poisoned, Because I was like, dude, Qyburn is like this weird, mad scientist genius dude. He should put some poison on that thing. But then I noticed in the subsequent episode previews, like, Drogon seems fine, so I don't think it was poisoned.
Right.
But that was my first worry, was like, oh, crap, Drogon's poisoned, and Dany's going to lose her best dragon, and... Anyway, but I was totally conflicted when all that was going down. I was like, no, Jaime, I don't want you to die. No, I don't want Tyrion's watching. I'm feeling Tyrion's pain. I'm like, oh, this is the perfect scene. It's so good. Like, they're all colliding together.
Is it generally accepted or generally believed that it was Bronn that pushed Jaime out of the way at the last second?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the speculation.
Yeah, you can see it.
I couldn't see it.
I think it's clearly
no, but
Bronn.
it's strong speculation. I mean, it's not confirmed, but all like they've done the freeze frame or whatever. The same gloves. He's got the finger cut off gloves. It's his hair. So I don't know why they didn't show it directly. But who else would it be? I don't see who else it could be.
Right.
I thought the cliffhanger was more like, did they survive that?
Right.
Whatever just happened. You know, like,
right.
Because they were kind of like sinking to the bottom, you know, and like, what's up with that? You know?
Yeah. Well, just one of them, right? Did it show both of them sinking, or was it just Jaime?
I thought it was two, but I'm not sure.
I only saw Jaime. It's pretty clear to me that the Gungan King is going to save him. Please save the Kingslayer.
Yep. Oh, it's two good jokes. You've earned your keep on this episode.
That was a fantastic episode of Game of Thrones, anyways.
Now, was there a better... how do I say this? So Rick and Morty was also new.
Yeah.
It was awesome, too, also.
And my question is that, can you... and this is a very specific ask, but has there ever been 2 episodes of... probably are, and I would imagine that both of these shows are in our current top 3 shows that we want to be watching when... Right, yeah, top 2. So is there... I mean, I watched the Rick and Morty episode today on the airplane, and freaking Pickle Rick has gone down in history. It was incredible. Pickle Rick!
All you have to do is add something to Rick, Tiny Rick, and it's just great. It doesn't matter. Pickle Rick! I don't know what's going to be next time.
It's amazing. I mean, it was such a good episode with the rats and the oh my gosh. Jaguar and that cliche. Oh.
It was so good. Like, that part where he, like, cuts off a piece of pickle and stabs it to his side.
That's right.
Like, as, like, a little pelt, like, when they're fighting. That was so good.
Yeah, oh man.
And then Susan Sarandon as, like, the therapist who specializes in people who like to eat poop.
That's right.
That was the greatest thing. Little, like, side joke.
Yeah.
And the poster, did you see the poster in the back that said, like, oh, what did it say? It just had a dude eating a hot dog.
It said courage, and they're eating a hot dog.
Courage,
and then when she walks in, she flips it around and says dedication, and it shows a picture of a family.
Yeah. So good. So good.
Oh, that show. They just do so many things that make you so happy.
They do.
I was just talking to someone at school about this today who's been, like, watching all the Adult Swim shows since that dropped, you know, kind of like starting with Space Ghost, I think about. And I was thinking about how that show feels like a combination of all the awesome comedy cartoon shows that have come before on Adult Swim and other places, all, like, perfected down to, like, to perfection.
Right.
To be Homer Simpson is really, really good.
With Luddite perfection.
Yeah, it's just like they hone down everything that's good about those kinds of comedies. I mean, like, the episode before that where Summer just went nuts and was, like, totally happy in Mad Max world was amazing too.
Yeah, and guess I haven't seen it yet. Dang it.
Oh, I spoiled it.
I tried to... No, you're fine. You're totally fine. I downloaded both of them, but then there was an error on one of them, so I could only watch the third one. So anyway, I'm going to go back and watch the second one tonight.
You can't really spoil Rick and Morty anyways, because it's all about the delivery and the, you know, like, I could tell that someone everything that happens in the plot and the jokes, and they would still be funnier as said by, you know, Rick.
Yeah,
and
you literally could tell me that Morty dies, and that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
Rick would just get another one from. In fact, that didn't that come up in one of the recent episodes? He's like, "There's an infinite number of views. So it doesn't matter." You know, Rick was
the one. He would try to find the one true Morty.
Yeah, that's
that
right.
was the thing.
Jaguar asks him, "Are there infinite daughters of mine too?" No, that's just for me.
That's just for me. Yeah, that was good.
You were about to ask a question, right, Docs?
What?
You were about to ask a question.
You were.
Probably.
I think the question you were going to ask is, can you remember another time when there were 2 episodes of a show that were that great that aired on the same night? Is that the question you were going to ask?
Yeah. Yeah, that was it.
How about when Veep and Game of Thrones air at the same time? That's pretty strong.
Oh, that is very strong.
I mean, I don't know if Veep is as good as Rick and Morty, but it's good.
I can point back to a video game release date that we've probably mentioned 8 times on this show, when Guitar Hero 2 and Gears of War, the original, and Call of Duty 3 came out on the same day.
Right.
Yeah.
And I bought all 3 of them, including a $3,000 TV, which I took back, knowing I was going to take back 6 months later.
That's right.
You grifters.
That's
right. Famous Dogsdie, Utah grifting.
That was
That's
a very
great.
Jack Mormon thing of me to do.
That certainly was. Certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of any. That's a very specific question.
It's like when we were little, though, or at least for me, when I was little growing up, I always liked when there were like 2 shows on back to back that were like, oh, I get to watch. And they were always dumb. They were always like Home Improvement and Full House or some crap. You know, I don't even know if that was a thing.
Mad About You and Friends.
No, I was never that.
Must see TV.
Never Friends.
Step by Step and Full House.
There it is.
I would be more okay with that than having Friends as part of the discussion. So Friends has never been in the second thing of a good thing.
The Cosby Show and Family Ties.
There you go.
Today I learned on Reddit that Game of Thrones and Friends have the same budget per episode, $10 million.
No way.
Man, they get so much more out of Game of Thrones episodes.
Yeah, well, because obviously Game of Thrones is all in the set production and everything, and Friends is all in the actors' salary.
On the talent in huge, gigantic air quotes.
Right.
It was to pay the talent on that show.
That's right.
How you doing? Give me $10 million.
Good. So what else were you guys doing in 1992? Oh, wait.
I think we're done with that topic.
Are we past
I was
that?
trying to avoid Friends.
I was in high school, 8 hours a day.
Any other boom parenting advice you guys would like to throw down? We've kind of been doing it a little bit.
Yeah, this comes from a dear friend of the show, the Tomini from Twitter.
Good old Tomini.
You can follow him on Twitter.
You can.
His name is @the_Tomini on the Twitters. So he says, I'm soon becoming a first-time father. Slip me a bit of boom parenting advice. And Dogsdie got us started early with whatever he said before that we didn't really care about. But he said it, and it's good, and it's a start. So, boy, I'm a 4 times father, and I'm struggling.
It actually goes along with that original Gears of War being released. Because in 2006, my firstborn was born. Making him the firstborn.
Way to be, kid.
Yeah, way to be. Way to be. And one of my favorite things that fits into the gaming theme of this podcast was waking up at night and me being the hero for my wife and bottle feeding the baby while I'm balancing the bottle and playing Gears of War.
Yes.
So I would say buy a game that you want to dive into, and if your wife's all about pumping before going to bed, you feed that baby while you're playing your game at night.
Yo, dog.
You get your wife to pump and dump, and then you pump the chumps, right? On the thing.
I got the same thing, dogs, except for my game was Oblivion.
Mine
Elder
too.
Scrolls.
Nice.
I know we've talked about this before, because Elder Scrolls is like the ideal game for when like your daughter falls asleep on your chest, and you could still play it because you don't have to be that like frantic, because it's just like you're wandering around and cutting things and doing potions and whatnot. So it's an ideal.
Yes.
It's an ideal, like actually an open world exploration game is perfect for when you have a really young child sleeping on you. I would say that's good. My advice would be before the child is born, buy an onion of something, of your choice, and just do it, because that's that.
That's the end of your access to onions?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just, you should get the onions out of your system before you have to be a dad.
Good call. Yeah, I was going to say the same thing about Elder Scrolls Oblivion. That's a formative memory for me, but you can bond with your children on video games before they're able to see color or
You're thinking of
recognize
dogs. Aren't you thinking of
polygons.
dogs?
Yeah, I'm sure there's got to be a point where a newborn doesn't see color, right? Or their eyes aren't open or whatever. There's something
Yeah,
like
it's within
that.
7 days. You've got a good week.
Right. Fast forwarding a little bit, and this is relevant to a thing that I tweeted earlier this week. I got my 11-year-old and took him downstairs and said, "I'm going to take you through Portal. I'm gonna sit here while you go through Portal 1, get through that campaign." And so you want to bookmark some important games that you have that you want to experience with your child, where you just hand them the controller and then enjoy watching them get through it, and that's pretty awesome.
Can I take a little credit for that? Because I feel like I inspired you to do that because I told you about how my daughter was getting to Portal. Or did that just happen like randomly?
It was concurrent because he came home from a friend's house and said, "Dad, guess what I played this week? Portal 2 at Emerson's house." And I'm like, "Have you ever played Portal 1? He's like, "No." And I think it was like one of those American Tail moments where we're singing the same song. Yeah. Somewhere over the bright star.
Somewhere out there.
Sing it like Rufus Wainwright, Dogsdie, if you would.
Somewhere. I can't. Woke up this morning
underneath the same moon. I don't know.
Cigarettes and LaCroix.
Whatever you do, whatever your feelings are about this, just don't introduce your kid to Pokemon, because then it's not good from there on. Even if you have a passing interest in Pokemon, it's just you're done then. Like, my daughter loves a lot of things, but she every single day she asks me at least 15 Pokemon. "Hey Dad, have you heard of this? Have you heard of that?" "No, I only know the first 150. Honey, I've told you that many times."
Right.
"Yeah, but you don't know who Litten is?"
Worst.
"No, I don't know who Litten is. I don't I don't know who Ardvardios is. I don't know any of your stupid Pokemon names, so please stop asking me every single new Pokemon that comes out."
Yep.
Yes, I did know Charizard could Mega Evolve because you told me that 8 times yesterday. Holy crap.
All right, Dogsdie, you do one.
I'm going to get real for a second. No, so fast forward to, again, about 11 years from now, at the Tomini, you've got a son or a daughter, and you feel like you need to have an important conversation with him or her. And this is what I did with my 11 and 9-year-old boys separately. I sat them down, and Smelly, I haven't told you this, but I think you know where this is coming from, and Yoshi, you probably do too. But I said, "Hey guys," I basically had a talk of, you should not take what I think is right or wrong to be the way that things are.
Ooh.
You need to question things for yourself and figure out what you think.
Love it.
And the 2 examples that I gave was, if you ask me for help for math homework and you say, "Hey Dad, what's 5 times 5? And I say 30. What's your reaction to that? And if you just accept everything I say as true, I tried not to make it a religious conversation, right? But if you challenge me on it and say, "No, Dad, I think you're wrong. I think this is the way that it is," then you can correct me. And then I did make it moral, though. I said, "Hey, look, guys, if we're out, if we go to the Murray pool, our little city rec center pool, and we find a $5 bill on the ground right where you're supposed to pay to go in, what should you do?" And both of the boys independently, we met with them separately, said, "You pick it up and give it to the staff." And I said, "Absolutely. I would too. That's what I think is right." Now, what if you're out and we're playing frisbee golf and we've been out there for an hour, and then there's nobody else around and you find a $5 bill? What would you do? And my oldest boy says, "Well, I would leave it there." And I said, "Well, why?" He's like, "Well, it's not mine. That would be stealing." And I said, "I disagree. I would pick that up and we'd be getting Slurpees."
What a good kid.
That we'd be getting Slurpees. But I said, "But this is my point, dude. You don't think it's right. So I don't want you to do it. You shouldn't change your mind because of what I say. If you don't feel it's right, you don't feel it's right. But I don't have a problem with it. So we can have that conversation, and you can tell me, Dad, I don't think this is right because of this. This is how I feel." And I'd be, "Great. That's awesome. Let's not pick it up. Let's leave it there because I respect how you feel about that. You're not always going to you don't have to agree with me on everything." Anyway, it was an awesome conversation. That's all. You
dropped an onion of fatherly wisdom on him.
Yeah, someone's been cutting cocaine in here. I'm starting to cry.
Honestly, I've never respected you more than I did after hearing that story, Dogsdie. Like I don't
think I've ever given you any reason to respect me. So thank you for that.
No, I mean I respect you, but like that was amazing. Like I'm enraptured with what you just said. That was great advice.
Yep.
Like that's such a hard thing to approach because your kids do instinctively when they're young think that you're all knowing and all seeing. And we remember being kids and thinking that about our parents and then finding out later that our parents weren't what we thought they were necessarily.
Right.
And bursting that bubble at a younger age to me feels like super healthy and interesting. Like dude, are you sure you're not the psychologist in the family?
Yep, that's right. And I'm the cell phone salesman.
I mean, I planted some of that seed a little bit to say, your mom and I don't always agree. And that's okay. It's all right. She thinks some things and I think other things, but we still love each other and it's okay.
She doesn't like it in the butt and I do. And it's okay that we don't agree on that.
Oh,
Is that what you said to him next?
Yeah, butt stuff is next on their list of things to talk about.
have you seen Daddy's special belt? That's what that disagreement's for. Yeah. So anyway, I mean, I think we could probably at some point when I'd probably be waiting for me to feel more comfortable, have a full episode, 3 episodes probably on the underlying reason why this conversation was happening with him.
Sure.
Suffice it to say that it was great. So do that. Be a great parent.
Yeah, if you do that, you're fine.
Yeah.
The one thing I want to say about like the early days of being a parent, like when you because it's really scary and weird. And I remember calling Smelly Pirate like right when my daughter was born and being like, dude, what do I do? Life, what? And you're like, no, it's just going to be fine.
I remember
but
this.
Give yourself some like leeway those first few months because you're just kind of figuring it out. And so like I feel like sometimes I was too hard on myself or too worried that I was going to screw everything up. But in those first few months, you're just kind of learning and like lean on your significant other, your spouse, whatever it may be to help you and like prop each other up because you're going to not get a lot of sleep and you're going to be cranky and it's going to be tough. But like if you allow that that's normal, then you won't feel as crappy about yourself. That's what I would say. Mm-hmm. Like it helped me to talk to Smelly and to just know that, yeah, you're not going to sleep much, which everybody says, but you're not going to feel fully in control of your life like you're not used to feeling, but you just kind of have to let it go and not judge yourself too harshly, for those things.
Yeah.
But don't drop your baby. Then judge yourself harshly if you drop your baby like directly on its head or something.
If you think it's cute to shower with your kid, you're going to get them all soapy and you're going to drop them. Because I know that Smelly did. I remember you dropping Dylan.
I did. That's correct.
Or at Ninja Pirate or Stinky Ninja?
Stinky Ninja.
Right.
Yeah.
And I dropped Spectrum dogs in the shower too.
Yep.
I mean, it's going to happen.
I just want to say that I did not know that either of you dropped your child when I made that joke, so I'm really, really sorry.
It's okay. The dropping the child discussion is important, and it dovetails nicely into what my legit piece of advice was going to be. And that is to always remember that you're going to screw your kid up.
Yeah.
Just like your parents screwed you up. And if there's a design, that's by design. Like it's unavoidable and it's okay because the ways in which you screw your kid up will be the lessons that they get to learn from when they get older and realize new things about themselves when they realize that you screwed them up in some way. And I dropped my oldest.
Yep.
And he has
That's
turned
true.
out to be a brilliant and engaging little 11-year-old now who's almost all the way through Portal. So everything's okay.
Portal player. That's where I was going to go with that too. Like, I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Can you imagine like playing Portal when you were 11? Like I watch my daughter play. She's 8 and she's playing Portal. And I'm trying to like figure out how I would have even conceived of Portal. Like she's playing a 3D puzzle game. I'm like, what? How? But our kids are so much more like sophisticated when it comes to games and like digital interaction that
Yeah.
Like, it was so cool to watch. I don't know if you had this experience because you already played Portal 2, but the first room in Portal 1 where she can see herself, you can see Shell when you walk through the portal.
Yep.
She kept doing that for a long time, like getting her bearings, like, oh, I'm over here now. This is how it works. I get it. And then when she got the portal gun, it was like a whole new thing, right? It's like, oh, I can make a portal. And then once she figured out you could, like, get the momentum thing, she's like, oh, great, I'm doing this all the time. Anytime there's a place where I can do the momentum thing and go flying, I'm going to do it everywhere. So, anyway, that's a joy you have to look forward to.
It was very fun. It was very fun to watch him figure that stuff out. And a couple times he did some things that I don't remember doing just because he wanted to, like, to see, oh, how does it work if I want to see the back of my character, I have to shoot a portal here and then look into this portal in this direction. And he was like figuring out the physics of it. And I'm with you. It was exhilarating to watch, like, his young mind kind of.
Did he make an infinite portal yet? Like one where you fall through?
Yes, he did.
That was for me when it really clicked. I was like, oh man, she made the infinite portal. I remember the first time I did that, and I just sat there and like fell for like 5 minutes and thought it was amazing.
Oh man, I got to introduce my boys to Portal.
And got an achievement. There's an achievement for that fall too.
She's like, look how it shifts a little bit each time you fall through, Daddy. And I'm like, yeah, I know, it's crazy, right? And she's just like, she did that for so long that noise of falling through the portal started to get irritating. I was like, okay, just move a little bit because you need to finish this puzzle.
Dogsdie, you need to do this with Jackson.
Puppies Die
or whatever.
Jackson dies in hot cars. Yeah, I do. For me with him, it was coming home and watching. Well, I came home from work one day and he had plugged my Blue Yeti microphone into the PlayStation, connected the PlayStation to his YouTube channel, and was live streaming Minecraft.
Wow.
And talking over it.
Awesome.
And I did not help him with any of it. And I looked at that and I went, wow, my kid is super annoying on YouTube. But I'm glad that he figured it out. And so now I make sure I subscribe to his channel and I upvote all of his little videos he makes, and it's great.
That's awesome. I had one piece of don't do it advice for the Tomini. Do not ever give the slightest inkling of hope to your child that you're interested in hearing him or her narrate to you a YouTube video that he's watched. Because if they ever sniff out that you enjoy that on any level, your life is done. It sucks for you. Everything sucks at that point.
Right.
Well, what was the conversation we had, Smelly? I remember this very specific thing when I came to visit you in Georgia about how when you have a kid, like, you've never said, that's interesting or that's cool more times in your whole life, because a lot of times your kids tell you stories and there's just no response except for, okay.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah,
because it's like a non-story, and it's many times the stories you've already heard them tell before, and it's like,
right.
I've actually gotten to the point where I'm telling my daughter, like, you told me that one before, and like people kind of don't like that, so just FYI.
Yeah, right. We're trying to give accurate feedback.
That's probably my way of screwing her up. So she's gonna be all insecure about stories she tells now.
Well, rather than just blatantly lying to her and saying, that's interesting, honey. Like, that's the opposite of what's true for you. But that's what I say sometimes.
Yeah,
I've
started to become a little bit more honest with her. I'm like, you know what? I don't care about those Pokemon. So I've actually told her, I was like, if you will let me play like Pokemon Soul Silver and finish your GD file and let me play it, then I'll learn these ones. But anyway.
All right, everybody. We are going to finish off this episode with a bracket. If we can do it in 10 minutes, then we are under an hour 30. So that's great.
So good to be back.
So we're going to do uncomfortable media bracket. So I think the reason why what came to mind was Smelly watched a series on Netflix that many people may have watched, 13 Reasons Why.
Yeah.
I am about halfway through. Yoshi, have you watched this series?
Oh, I have I have like moral objections to even looking at that show.
Okay.
I think it's a horrible idea, personally, and I don't want to watch it.
That's interesting. Okay. Legitimately interesting. Not like you're my kid and I don't want to hear what you're saying.
Like the statistic that I heard recently was about the spike in searches about suicide since that show has come out. Not about like what's suicide, but like how to do it. So I mean, I've read enough to know about the fact that they actually show it and that's like against every recommendation of every psychologist of all time. And so I'm just uncomfortable with the whole notion of it. And I think we talked about this, Smelly, like the notion that it like glorifies suicide because it's like this revenge thing.
Yeah.
Whereas in real suicide, you're just dead and you don't get to see the revenge part that you showed them, that you should have been nicer to me when I was alive. So
yeah, we've talked about it privately.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I'm not touching that show.
Sure. And that's fine. That's why this bracket came to be, because I am watching it. And I am uncomfortable. And at the same time, I am enjoying the show. So it was one of those, okay, what is some media that you have consumed that is uncomfortable, but that you liked?
Oh, you have to like it.
Oh, you don't have to like it. Maybe you don't have to like it.
I think if you don't have to like it, then it's not that fun. Like, it needs to be, like, uncomfortable and also rewarding at the same time, you know?
Yeah, like, almost the entire movie genre of horror film is in this bracket. Like, The Ring, for a Mormon person who didn't used to watch R-rated movies, The Ring was, like, the quintessential horror flick that you watched. And that was, the horror genre is aiming to make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Anyway, proceed. Anyone have any other entries?
So 13 Reasons Why is our honorary entry, right, to begin with?
I'm putting that in. And it doesn't have to be TV or movies. It can be a video game. It can be music, just anything media.
I will say, to drill in really closely, I will say is this the most uncomfortable scene from Breaking Bad? I was going to say, I guess the first one that came to mind is the bathtub filled with human remains that seeps through the floor. And yeah, that one was pretty darn disgusting, and yet I really appreciate that it happened.
Right. That was within the first few episodes.
I was going to say, is that even the most uncomfortable thing that happened on Breaking Bad? Like, because I would say the scene where Walt finds a particular character and doesn't do anything about it is one of the hardest scenes for me to watch in that show, season 2.
That was hard.
Yeah.
That makes me feel so bad when I watch that part.
He finds the bee from apartment 23.
Right. Yeah, I think I have a pretty specific aversion, I think, to gore and blood in general. That part was disgusting, and also when Fring,
it's like all of Game of Thrones, you don't want to watch.
When Fring, well, I did back then. When Fring takes a box cutter to someone's neck in the laundry whatever facility.
Oh yeah, like season 4 or 3. I can't remember.
That was pretty dank too. I had a hard time with that one, but I'll stick. We'll just say Breaking Bad.
Okay, well, because that's fair. Because Breaking Bad has its fair share of uncomfortable things to watch. Like you could go on to like times when Jesse's like very strung out on heroin and losing it, or I mean not heroin, meth, and it's just like you love that kid, and it's so sad to see him destroying. So I think Breaking Bad's a good call.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the first thing that came to my mind. It's a movie that I dearly love, but is hard to watch. Requiem for a Dream, which I don't know if either of you have ever seen that movie.
I haven't. I will download it now because I see it mentioned all the time online. Go ahead.
Jared Leto is in it, and
Jay Con.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sarah from The Labyrinth. Jennifer Connelly is in it, and it is by far one of the best movies I've ever seen. Wow. But it is so hard to watch. It's a pure descent into hell, that whole movie. And it's so good, and it portrays so many things perfectly, and it's just almost impossible to watch. But if you can manage it, you feel like you understand something deeper about human beings when you're done. It's tough.
Okay. It's
great. It's Darren Aronofsky movie. And he's really interesting guy anyways, so.
I love it.
Okay. That's good.
All right, so Requiem for a Dream. I'm sad that you guys don't know that one because now that feels like one of those dead entries where it's just going to die in the first round for sure.
Don't worry, I'll put it up against 13 Reasons Why to really make you feel bad.
Okay, thanks.
Now, I'll jump over to the video game genre. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, no Russian.
No Russian. I remember. remember well.
Oh man,
No Russian.
Didn't we do did we do a song of that or some sort of a skit?
We did a skit or something. We did something with it.
Oh, there was a Stinky Ninja. I had Stinky Ninja. That may have been the first Stinky Ninja where he talked about no Russian.
That's right. And there was ketchup all over
gun.
the people.
the
That's
ketchup
right.
guns. Yep.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay, good times. So
I like that.
my next submission is going to be the Stinky Ninja ketchup gun skit. That's going to be what I'd like to put on our bracket. No, I'm not doing that. I'm doing Meet the Parents.
Ah.
Totally different look.
Yeah. Well, I thought we might go awkward comedy because some people say like, "Oh, I don't like The Office because I can't handle that uncomfortable comedy."
I've got The Office on my list. The Office is absolutely on my list.
Nice.
That's a good one.
Yeah. We're binge watching The Office right now, and we watched the you remember Donna, the restaurant nightclub manager that she has an affair with Michael?
No, not at all. Sorry.
Yeah, so Michael, she's married, and Michael is the one that she's cheating with. And it only lasts for a couple episodes, but she comes to the office to buy printers from Jim and Pam. And Michael is trying to kiss her, and they go on for 5 minutes, and it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah, the awkward humor in The Office is the best.
It is. It's very, very good.
I agree. Put that up against Meet the Parents so it can win to the next round, because it should.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
it's better at that. It's better at uncomfortable humor than Ben Stiller and Robert Downey De Niro.
Is that the pinnacle of uncomfortable humor?
The Office? It might be.
Yes.
It may be.
Parks and Rec is good at that too, but
Parks and Rec, they add a little bit more of just flat humor. The Office uses the awkwardness, but Parks and Rec really leans on humor and characters more than The Office does.
John Ralphio, or whatever his name is, they lean on him a lot. Not a ton, but whenever he's on the show, they lean on him because he's super funny.
Right. I'll add Saving Private Ryan, specifically the scene where the German and the American are the knife struggle.
God, when it's just
that is one of the hardest things I've ever had to look at.
Yep, I'm so jaded, but that scene still gets me, and it reminds me of a Kurt Vonnegut quote about war, where he said something like, "It's too bad that when people are fighting in wars, sometimes they don't just say, you know what, that's too much. I'm not doing that to the other guy. Mm-hmm. I'm just not going to do that to another human being. I'm just not going to
do that."
And that's that scene, right? He's talking to him. He's like, no, you don't have to shove this knife into my chest. As he's shoving the knife. Oh, God, that scene's horrible. Why'd you bring that up? I'm not going to be able to sleep now. Out
of everything that you see in that movie, that scene is the one that just goes, ugh. Gosh,
it's true.
Because it didn't need to happen. That's it's such a great microcosm of war, really, too. None of those things need to happen, but they happen because somebody ordered it to happen.
All the music cut out, and there's very little editing and camera angle changes. It's just here's what's happening.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Knowing Spielberg.
I think we've got room for one more.
All right, so let me throw out one that will get knocked out immediately because you guys don't know it. Although I did send this game, Dogsdie. Spec Ops: The Line.
I was going to say that for you.
I love that game, but I couldn't sleep well for 3 weeks after I finished it. And I could not play other video games for a while because I was just okay, that was more than I ever wanted out of a video game. But now, wow, okay. That was around the same time, Smelly, that you were talking about not playing shooters as much. And I was kind of feeling on board with you because that was so traumatizing to play through that game.
Right.
I still think everybody should play through that game just because of the way it deconstructs modern war games and how we make them fun. And how warfare is an inherently unfun thing, and they make you feel that in that game in such an uncomfortable way. I still think that is one of the most underrated game experiences of all time. It's just
I haven't finished it. I only got about halfway, but I loved what I played.
It's only about the narrative. And that's the thing. It's about how the characters degenerate, or the main character, your character, just falls apart as the game goes on. And it's very symbolic and just,
Right.
Play Spec Ops: The Line any way you can, dear listeners.
Awesome. That's good. So I think we've rounded out our bracket. We didn't have any music entries. I had a couple that I wrote down, but it's okay. We don't need to include them. but Smelly knows that I've been listening to the discography of Eminem, and the song "Insane" by Eminem is very uncomfortable, but it's it is very good. There's some Nine Inch Nails songs that make me feel that way as well, that are very entertaining, but they're very hard to listen to.
I wouldn't put Nine Inch Nails in that area. Because, like, why is it, like, disturbing because he's got, like, industrial-sounding guitars, or what? Or just because of the stuff he's saying?
I think it was at the time that music came out, there was such a backlash, and I shouldn't say backlash, like, personally, like, my parents talking about it, but just that natural reaction to being a 16-year-old Mormon boy, and I Want to F You Like an Animal song comes out, and it's super catchy, but it's like, oh, this is so satanic.
Right.
Beautiful People by Marilyn Manson would be in that same category of kind of like, I shouldn't like this, but man, is it catchy. I remember having an argument with our mom about the song Zero from the Smashing Pumpkins.
By the Pumpkins?
Oh, right.
Of saying, I don't know, and it was also System of a Down. It was System of a Down.
Chop Suey?
Chop Suey.
Because angels deserve to die?
Yeah, and like, how does the chorus go? I don't think that I trust in my
your self-righteous suicide.
I cry when angels deserve to die. Oh, and yeah, it says like, Father, into your hands I commend my spirit. Father, into my hands, why have you forsaken me? And it's like, that's a literal quote from the Bible. But when you listen to the song, it feels very sacrilegious. And my argument was to her was like, what is it? I mean, does Satan have certain chords and rhythms?
Right.
He does. No, that's true.
And so it's like, anyway, yeah.
There are unholy chord progressions that only few people know about.
I was going to give honorable mention to any skit on a rap CD in which somebody is giving or receiving oral sex. That always makes me pretty uncomfortable.
So basically every single skit of Eminem.
That's right.
I'm also going to say, you guys are talking about Eminem and we're talking about Dr. Dre. I'm going to say whatever, Deep Water, I think it's called, or something, on Compton. There's a song on Compton where a dude is like drowning, and it is so uncomfortable. And they intentionally pick a dude who sounds like he's got kind of a like more feminine voice. So it sounds like they're like intentionally drowning a homosexual on that track. And it makes me feel really uncomfortable.
Man. Yeah.
It's really hard to listen. The thing that sucks about that, though, is I think that transitions right into the best song on that album, One Shot, One Kill.
Yeah.
So you have to listen to him drown a little bit at the beginning before you can hear Snoop Dogg spit fire. But it's totally worth it.
Totally
Snoop Dogg has never been better than on that song, so.
Oh, that's
IMHO.
good.
Very true. Very true.
Here we go. 13 Reasons Why versus Requiem for a Dream. My promise is fulfilled.
I have to vote for 13 Reasons Why, because that suicide scene is probably the most uncomfortable that I can ever remember feeling watching a show.
So did you like that show, though?
No, but I felt obligated to watch it. I didn't dislike it altogether, but I really hate some of the messages that it portrays.
Gotcha.
Right.
Really harmful, damaging messages.
I have an affinity for shows that can make me feel, or anything that can make me feel the emotion they're going for.
Yeah.
So like horror movies that are well done, I like that feeling of, I'm scared to walk to my bedroom with the lights off right now. And that's so cool that a movie can make me feel that way. It's kind of the same a love affair that I have with this show. It is very uncomfortable for me to watch, but I'm kind of powering through it, I guess. I don't know.
Well, once you guys see Requiem, you'll realize how wrong you were, but that's okay.
All right, so we have Spec Ops: The Line versus Breaking Bad bathtub scene, or just Breaking Bad in general.
Let's just say Breaking Bad, because I didn't think the bathtub scene to me is not like the worst of that show at all. Like the only one I could think off the top of my head was the Jesse thing we were talking about, but there are lots of other things that are way more uncomfortable than that, in my opinion.
True.
Like honestly, Walt peeing blood because he had cancer was more uncomfortable to me than the bathtub thing, because that feels real. Yeah. Like the stuff that feels real is more uncomfortable to me than like they're dissolving a dude in a bathtub. That just seems like fantastical to me almost. Like this is not a real thing that happens. But anyway, I vote for Breaking Bad anyway, by the way.
All right. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 No Russian versus The Office.
The Office, just because I like it better. I don't want to vote for Call of Duty. I don't even like it that much. I love The Office.
Yeah, I would as well. And I think it is more uncomfortable than No Russian. No Russian's got that shock factor, but it doesn't last. I don't think any of us would feel the same way if we played it again today.
Well, and at that time, like, it was funny to think that, like, the Russians were a problem, you know? It was like they were, like, the safe villains because, like, we were like, you know, well, Russia, that used to be this deal. I mean, not like they would, like, meddle in our elections or anything like that.
No,
so.
Of course not. We've got Meet the Parents versus Saving Private Ryan.
Let's see, Oscar-winning film versus, Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, I vote Saving Private Ryan as well. Now, remember, we are voting for most uncomfortable. It doesn't have to be just the quality overall.
It seems like this bracket, the point of this bracket is you enjoy it and it's uncomfortable.
Right.
Because if it was just based on how uncomfortable it is, then we should go for, like, things that we don't like. We watched and we're like, oh God, I never want to see that again, you know?
Right. I'm looking at, like, Saving Private Ryan overall. It's not an uncomfortable experience overall.
That one scene we were talking about,
that
though.
one scene is very uncomfortable. But, like, The Office leans on discomfort as one of its big tropes.
That's a strong argument, because most of Saving Private Ryan doesn't lean on discomfort. I like that argument.
Doesn't.
Can I change my vote?
We haven't outvoted. Those two are coming up soon here. So 13 Reasons Why, 10 more than 3. 10 plus 3 Reasons Why versus Breaking Bad.
I haven't seen 13 Reasons Why, so I just have to vote for Breaking Bad. So if you guys sweep the 13 Reasons category.
I still don't understand our criteria, but in my mind, I want to vote for 13 Reasons.
As do I. Breaking Bad is easily better. It's almost better than any show ever made.
So far better.
But
you might say it is better than any show ever made.
Yeah, you might say it almost is, actually.
I have a hard time saying any show is better, but you could make an argument for a few shows being just as good.
It makes me uncomfortable that you're unwilling to say that it's the best show ever made.
This is the winner. This moment is winning this bracket.
Yeah, put episode 92 on the list now.
I mean, you've got Game of Thrones is in the conversation. The Wire, especially season 1. The one that
Sopranos.
I've seen. The Sopranos is the other one. So those four.
I haven't seen any of that crap, so I just know that I'm supposed to say those things.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
I know I'm supposed to say The Wire and Sopranos, and
we've got The Office versus Saving Private Ryan.
I love that matchup.
It's a good matchup.
A lot.
I go The Office.
Yeah, The Office, because it leans on the uncomfortable. You made a great point. I'm gonna agree with that.
Yeah, I'm going with The Office, too.
It swept it. All right, that's good.
You know what? I'll be honest. I don't even like Saving Private Ryan that much as a movie, so.
Oh, no, yeah, I disagree, but, you know, that's why we're humans. We have different opinions.
I would say it's good, like, but I don't often feel the need to, like, you know what I haven't seen in a while? That's never happened with Saving Private Ryan for me.
Right. It's more of like oh, look what's on TNT again.
Has that happened with you guys? Well, yeah.
That's happened with that movie, I think, and it's not culminated in me watching it more than any movie I can think of.
Wow,
I'm
really?
pretty constantly thinking, I really want to watch Saving Private Ryan again.
I never think I want to see that again. Like, I never think like, oh yeah, that was great. Like, we watched Fifth Element the other day, which was terrible. That movie does not hold up at all.
I'm going to test that.
We had more of a desire to like rewatch The Fifth Element than Saving Private Ryan. So I don't know. That's just not a movie that like I was like, yeah, I just want to keep reliving them saving Matt Damon. It just doesn't matter to me that much. I
would when I think I need to rewatch war movies and stuff. I go to the Blu-rays that I own of The Pacific and Band of Brothers. This is what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are good.
I don't know how many war movies.
The grand finals are 13 Reasons Why versus The Office. How very different.
Matchup.
This is such a dumb bracket. What the hell happened to us? This is the worst bracket we've ever made. I can only vote for The Office.
Well, and I vote for The Office too. I think it's a good way to end on an upbeat. Smelly, it doesn't matter what you say, but go ahead.
I know. I abstain.
Okay. So there you have it, everybody. The most uncomfortable media bracket was won by The Office. I'm glad that it was a positive, uncomfortable feeling that ended up winning out.
We should do the most uncomfortable parody song we've ever done.
Oh.
And it will all just be like the ones that I did.
Oh, gosh.
It'll be like listening to me try to see Even Flow or Creep, like the ones that the couple of times I tried to do parody songs. And it was just like, oh, he's tone deaf. So that would be a good bracket. Which was the most uncomfortable Yoshifett parody song you had to listen to?
I don't know, man. The next one that I'm trying to do on a psychological disorder may be pretty uncomfortable.
Might preemptively win. Or the never before heard or written Yoshifett black skinhead parody.
Oh, that's actually
that we
good.
all want to hear.
Maybe we can have an uncomfortable episode. Episode 93 will be an episode of discomfort.
I still want it so hard.
I am just now realizing how annoying it is that it's
skipping.
Uncomfortable.
Everyone's paused.
But it's not
everyone froze.
You have to switch between discomfort and uncomfort. I don't like that. I think we need to end the episode just in case. I think everybody's cutting out. Yoshi just dropped. So thank you very much, everybody. For those that didn't know, Luddite means a small growth underneath your leg region. I don't know what Luddite means, but Yoshi has cut off, so you're going to have to look it up yourself.
South of the legs. A growth. Yes.
So, Smelly, please take us out in any way you choose to do so.
The Big Red Barrel Boom. Baxter, is that you? Baxter! Bark twice if you're in Milwaukee.
We'll see everybody next week.
You and your ears are quite welcome.
For the podcasting goodness that you just heard.
Why not roll on over
To BigRedBarel.com.
for more podcasts?
News, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet. BigRedBarel.com.
And just so we're clear, I'm going to be a douche. Coleman, I expect at least that the over talking to be edited out. Is that too much to ask?
No. And he'll do it somehow. He'll be done with it 50 minutes after we're done, and it'll be an hour and a half recording. Like, he's ridiculous with the quickness.
Oh my gosh. I bet that he will edit out me saying that before he even listened to it.
Before he hears you saying it, he's already edited it out now.
It's gone. He's not even listening to this. It's edited.
All it is that he's a precog, and he knows what we're going to say before we say it. Coleman is soaking in a bathtub
ball
right now, nude,
A brown
and
ball comes out, and he pulls it out and...
He is all of those things. That he was like Doctor Strange, and that he's just going to end our episode on a loop with him walking in and saying, Dormammu! I am, whatever the thing is that he says at the end over and over again.
oh yeah, I've come to bargain or whatever.
I've
That was
come
good.
to bargain.
I don't know how suggestible Coleman is, but I would like to recommend that 16 Fluid Onions be the title of this episode if he's susceptible to that.
Fair.
Yeah, and edit out Smelly saying that too, so it's like it's
Right.
organic.
But leave this in for no context for the listener. Just what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah.
Nobody else is here. Oh, never mind. Dogsdie's back.
I'm back.
We'll talk later, Coleman, about that thing. It was totally innocent, nothing to do with Dogsdie, of course, but we'll talk about it later.
What is happening?
Nothing. No, don't worry about it. Coleman is going to replace you on this show. I was talking to him personally about
Dang,
that.
man, I knew
So,
we were giving him too much power.
Oh, man.
You gave me too much power by leaving the room and letting me have a one-on-one with Coleman about the show needs a new sheriff, and it's going to be Coleman.
Has he been on this show the whole time, and he just hasn't been able to speak?
I don't think so.
He may like interject himself in if he wants
That's
to at this point. Like, we would be totally down with that. Like,
Yeah,
Coleman, just pretend Coleman, if you want to pretend you're part of this podcast and like add your own things in, or do like Ron Howard style and like voiceover, like if you don't believe me that I beat Contra in 9 lives, you could say like he didn't or something
just go
like that.
Dormammu.
So
start everything
Guys,
you say with Dormammu.
This was the best episode that we've had in a long time. It wasn't. That's kind of the Ron Howard type
That
thing.
kind of stuff.
yeah, that's better. You're right. I didn't do it good.
I want Alan. I want Dogsdie to know that your joke about our deceased father had me literally laughing all the way to the LaCroix. As they say.
That's all I aim for.
I've heard that you're not supposed to say it that way, but I can't remember the right way to say it.
It's fada. It's fada. Oh, LaCroix.
Because like it's not like yeah, because I think it's like a BS thing, like where that name is not really like as whatever as you would think it is.
Not as French.
It's made. Yeah, it's like made in Missouri or some crap, and like they put that name on there, but you say it different. I can't remember.
Well,
I heard it on the radio. It's probably not true.
There are rules about where you make it and what language you're allowed to use.
Yeah.
It's based on something.
It's made in Waukon, Michigan, I think.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
They speak French up there.
I don't know. I just remember thinking that, like, LaCroix is, like, would make sense, because that's how you would say it, I think, with the French pronunciation, but I think that you're not supposed to say it that way.
Le Croix, not la? Is there a la in French, probably?
Yeah, there is.
Not that I can... There is? I can't remember, because
it's not
I only took French because there...
La femme Nikita, right? Is a thing? That's French.
Yeah. I only took French to because this girl that I liked was in French, so I don't remember any of it.
No, there is a la, because doesn't Rufus Wainwright start one of his Moulin Rouge songs with La Moulin Rouge, like just like that?
Yes.
Coleman, if you put the backing music, no one will notice the difference.
Yep. That's about right.
All right, well, who cares?